Sermon 45, Commentary. Sermon 45 was delivered by Amir al-Mu'mineen Imam Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salam in Kufa during his caliphate, amid the civil wars and widespread distractions. Many supporters were exhausted by conflict, tempted by worldly gain, and prone to attachment to dunya, whether through wealth, status, or hope for future stability. Some justified compromise with Mavia or desertion with excuses rooted in fear or self-interest. The Imam repeatedly warned against these spiritual diseases, using imagery of the world as fleeting and deceptive to urge detachment and preparation for the hereafter. Ibn Maytham al-Bahrani states the opening praise highlights Allah's infinite mercy, bounty, and forgiveness as boundless and accessible to all, for no one is excluded. The term, "this world is sweet and green," means it appears attractive and fresh, yet it is ordained for destruction and departure. The world rushes towards whoever pursues it and clings to the heart, making detachment essential. When Imam Ali states, "depart from here with the best provision," this alludes to taking only sufficient sustenance for the journey to the Akhirah. Excessive demand leads to attachment and loss. Likewise, Alam al-Majlisi states the term "sweet and green" on the surface, but leading to destruction, as being a description of this world. The Imam's call to take only what is enough echoes the prophetic sunnah of zuhud, detachment. The believer travels light in dunya to arrive safely in the akhirah. As in previous sermons, when Imam Ali says, "today is the day of action," reinforces that this life is for deeds, not reckoning. Scholars such as Allama Muhammad Hussain Tabatabai contrasts Allah's eternal infinite attributes with the dunya's transient, seductive nature. When Amir al-Mu'mineen states, "it hastens towards its seeker and attaches to the heart," this reveals the psychological trap of worldly love. It actively pursues and clings, turning the heart away from its Lord, Allah. For true provision is spiritual, enough for the journey, not excess that becomes a burden. This is the essence of zuhud, using the world without being used by it. Shaheed Ayatollah Sayyid Ali Khamenei quotes this sermon in many of his classes on the Nahj al-Balagha. He, like the other scholars, refers to the term "sweet and green" as alluding to the deceptive allure of the material life that rushes to capture the heart, especially in times of fitna or prosperity. When Amir al-Mu'mineen talks about "depart with the best of provision," this alludes to living with minimal worldly needs and maximal focus on the Akhirah, a direct guide to the era of occultation. Ayatollah Shaheed Khamenei applies it to modern believers. You should reject excessive hopes and desires. Take only what is necessary for the journey towards Imam Mahdi's reappearance. True awaiters travel light, prioritizing deeds over accumulation. He often says this sermon teaches the world is a temporary caravan. One must prepare for departure with sufficient spiritual provisions rather than clinging to its fleeting beauty. Other Maraja, such as Mukarram Shirazi and Jawad Amani, regard this as a foundational text on Zuhud and detachment, a key theme in Amir al-Mu'mineen's speeches. The world is, after all, ordained for destruction, so believers must take only subsistence and focus on eternal preparation. The core doctrines and takeaways of this sermon is that Allah's mercy and bounty and forgiveness are infinite and accessible. No one is beyond hope or too high for worship. Dunya is deceptive, sweet and green on the surface, yet transient and destructive. It actively pursues and clings to the heart. One should only take sufficient provision for the journey to the Akhirah, for excessive demand of this world leads to attachment and therefore spiritual loss. Be sons of the next world, not this one. On Judgment Day, every soul clings to what it truly loved and served. This sermon is one that is concise yet profound and calls to Zuhud in the Nahj al-Balagha. It elevates Allah's greatness while exposing the lowness and deception of the dunya, urging believers to travel light towards the hereafter. It remains a cornerstone of Shia spirituality and is frequently recited to inspire detachment and to prepare for the coming of Imam Mahdi Ajrallah Farajahum Sharif.